Hey, good day to all of you. My name is Blair and welcome to another OS operating system. Today we're going to take a look into Ubuntu distro called Edubuntu, and the version is 25.04 and it is not an LTS. I was thinking about it, but well, based on my information that I have, it is just a little bit like a test for the LTS, which is coming in the next, probably it's gonna be on the 10th or maybe on the following year. So let's take a look into the website. So the website is edubuntu.org, and it is freedom for every classroom. It is stable, secure, and privacy conscious option for schools, and not only for schools but also for educators and students. Of course, let's try to download. It is right here on the download, and as you can see, this feature is only 9 months of support, so this is not a long-term support by default. And probably the release note will tell us about this one. Let us see. So the release note right here, the release of Edubuntu 25.04 is replaced some of the apps that were no longer supported with the application, so you could still get the wonderful experience. Many places around the world are just a few months away from the summer. Well, we want to make sure Edubuntu will stay stronger for this summer month, for the supplement learning over this summer. Okay, they didn't have the information. Why is it's not LTS? So there's a new feature right here. So the Qt based apps and the GNOME notes is dead upstream, so the reason they switched to the G notes, and the Qt for their mostly as a workaround for the instability to change the accent colors, so they change it. And of course, they also have the GNOME directory is also dead and upstream, so they replaced with Artha. It is upgraded, and some issue known as the first boot of this operating system is normal, but mechanics, some upset of the logo, it's not loading properly, and the Artha is not launching on Wayland session, because Wayland, they want to replace Wayland because X11 Xorg is a little bit like not dead, but it is not well maintained. So the Wayland is newer version. It was like, I think it's about like few years ago they were like try to really like change to Wayland, but there's a lot of bug fixes. And if you want to read more about this, just go to the edubuntu.org/download.html. Let's try to download. Let's click the download link. So you have options right here if you are using the ARM or the AMD 64-bit, so you can use this too. But of course, if you want to be specific, like what kind of file is it, the torrent, the list, the manifest, or image XZ or ISO, you're just gonna click right here. But for me, it's just gonna click ISO. Okay, let me close this one. So let's go to the ISO file. So let me go to the folder and add Ubuntu ISO. I'll give it like maybe 8, because most of the time we have 8 gigabytes of random access memory, plus about like maybe I'll give it only like 30. And let's click next, and let me full screen so that you will not get confused. And let's try to live boot it and try to install it at the same time. So okay, let's try to choose our language, and then click next for the abilities, and then for keyboard layout please click next, and then let's go for the wired because this is the live boot and we are using the virtual machine. So we have options right here if we have to install it. I'll just gonna install it so that we could like have some interaction with it after we have the installation. Okay, and we have also the interaction of the installation automatic file. Okay, let's just click next, and then I'll just gonna click the full feature. And the third party, probably I won't do that one right now, and erase the entire disk because this is a virtual machine. If we have the Windows, it will be right here on the middle, or in the bottom will ask you install alongside with the Windows operating system. So I'll just gonna click next, no inscription needed because this is a test. And let's give a name for this one. We have the computer name. I'll just go for the Rialbbe, and for my super secret password I just gonna give maybe 4. I'll just gonna give 4, and it will require login. And of course, if you're not in somewhere else in the map right here, just click. For example, I'm here in Iloilo and there is no Iloilo, so I'll just gonna click Quezon City. It will be okay, but let me try if we put Iloilo and click next. Okay, and next. So we have the information right here. You could like read it alongside. It will just pop up like right here if we have 100% installation. So let's just wait for this one, and if you want to read, just read it along. Okay, we have our installation complete, so let's try to restart our computer, our virtual computer that is, and let's reboot. Okay, let's enter our super secret password. Okay, we have greeted with a welcome app right here in our initial boot. So let's try to look into the information right here in the welcome app. So help us to improve the Ubuntu experience. So it's up to you. For me, I'll just okay with it because this is the test. And there is the open app center, so you could get your apps right here. So this is the Edubuntu 25.0. It is not an LTS, not a long-term support, so it's just only up support until the 9th month. So after 9th month it will be up to you. So this will be just for a test, and I recommend you to use the Edubuntu 24.04.2 or the latest. Okay, so we have also the update right here as we have our initial boot. So let's try to install the initial boot installation update. So this is just running for a few seconds. As you can see, we could like also check the information right here, the details. So if you are techie, you could like look into this one too. Could close that one, and it just installed it for you. So our computer is now up to date. So let's go to the desktop user interface. So the desktop user interface is much like the ideal for the GNOME. So this is the GNOME desktop environment, the windowing application for the GNOME. So we have right here the show apps or the app launcher. So we could like click this one. It's basically like a start menu button. And we have the quick launch application. It's like in Windows 2 that you could like have all those quick launch. And this one you have desktop 1, desktop 2. So you could like move from 1 and 2, or you could add more. And right here on the top center we have the time and date, and we have our notification and our power. In the other end you could see that there is a icon which is our home. We could also move this one if we wanted to right here. Okay, so it is up to you, but for me it's just okay. You could move this one like dragging it, but let's just put it right here on the other side and the bottom. So the default wallpaper is actually the chalk, because this is Edubuntu, so it is more in educational. And yes, some of our schools in the US and some are in the UK and Africa uses Edubuntu as their operating system for their school. But of course, for the other like wanted to have a proprietary operating system, they opted to the Windows. But of course you will spend a lot, like every month you have a subscription base fee. Okay, so right here in Edubuntu you don't have anything to pay because it is absolutely for free. And if you right click your mouse, you have the options to change your background. So you have the style right here as the light, and we have the dark mode. See, it is now in the dark mode. And I have to move this a little bit so that you could like see the wallpapers. So we have the Ubuntu. Well, this is one of the Ubuntu wallpaper. This one too. And we have Edubuntu's wallpaper. So it is basically themed as a school, and that is the default. We have also the crayon right here. We have the kid reading silhouette. We have the books, another chalk, the alphabets. We also have the Ubuntu Aurora. This is one of the Ubuntu's default wallpaper. This one is Edubuntu, and of course the Ubuntu wallpaper, which is the, so we have the Plucky Puffin, of course, more wallpapers. And this is the original wallpaper of the Edubuntu when they relaunch, before they also go into hiatus mode. Yeah, I remember that one. And this is also some Ubuntu. And yes, this is one of my personal favorite, is a library. Library is now like getting fewer and fewer. I don't know why. It is no like nothing else. Like, it's really like awesome if you have the library. You could like have no low bat at all. Okay, let's just return to the default wallpaper. Okay, so that is their wallpaper, and let us see if we could like see some of the appearance. So you could also hide the dock at the same time if you wanted to, but I'm okay with it already. While the home folder, I could like turn it off, like hide it, or just turn it on. But for me, I'll just gonna stick with off because it's also right here. Okay, so the size will be normal. We could like move the size like 32, but we have the 48 as the icon size default. It is left, and you could like show it into your primary display or in the other display, so it's up to you. Tiling, yes, you could like change the tiling at the same time. Okay, let's close that one. So let's go to the apps. So the apps right here, if you have all the apps on the quick launch dock or taskbar, so it will not appear right here on your show apps. As you can see, you could not see some of this because it's already right here. Okay, so we have the apps like the calendar, clock. We have the dictionary right here, conversion, plus the document viewer, Gcomprise for your games, educational games, and you also have other games right here, plus the learning and languages right here, like the Hangman if you want to play games, and the quiz, word quiz right here, plus the Scribus at the same time. It's also here, and the sciences, like my favorite, like the Stellarium if you want to have the star maps and stargazing. You have the options to have this LibreOffice, but I always opted to the OnlyOffice. Let me try to see later, okay, to download the OnlyOffice. Plus you also have the mathematics right here, algebra, and the other page, it's utilities, technology. Technology is mostly like, you know, the playing games for kids, like how to type. Social science right here, so like the geographics and the marble, which is our globe. And of course we have Edubuntu right here as the installation for the installer, the admin menu. For me, it's just okay. If you are not like a techie, it's just okay. You could like use this one. So let's try to download the OnlyOffice. Let's click the App Center. So you could like check it out right here on the search bar. Let's try to type in OnlyOffice. Hit enter, and we have the app right now. So let's try to install, one click away. Let's click. Of course, we have to enter our super secret password. So now it is installing. Let's wait for the installation to complete. It will take just several seconds or minutes. It depends on your internet connection. So okay, now let's open our OnlyOffice by clicking open. If not, you could like also see it right here, right there. So that is the OnlyOffice. So that is the welcome page of the OnlyOffice. You could like create your OnlyOffice cloud, connect with other cloud like the K Drive, the C Live and Nextcloud and OwnCloud and so on and so forth. So as you can see, you could also have the templates right here from the cloud. You could like visit the cloud too, like they have the templates right here, plus the local which is installed into your application, and you have the recent file right here, so you don't have anything because we just install it. And then you also have the directory if you want to like open your file, if you have some file already in your computer. So let's cancel that one. So settings at the same time, this is one of our best feature in OnlyOffice, because you have the option to scale up to like 200, 500. Like for example, I'll scale this one into 125. So let's click apply, and then when we have our restart, you'll notice that it will be bigger, like that one. So you could like scale it back into 100%, and then the theme, like for example, I want the dark mode, so there you have it. Let's just click restart so that you could see the scaling. Yes, the scaling is back to 100%. Plus you have not only 3 but 4 application office files, like your docs, your document, like that one, the documents for your word processors. A little bit like slow because we just opened this one and it was just installed just a while ago. So when we return right here, we have also the spreadsheets right there. So it is looking like an ordinary Excel program, but all in one. As you can see, we have all in one. Everything is just one application. Like your presentation slideshow at the same time. You could like put everything in just one application. You don't need to have like different types of application, or even the PDF editor. You could like type right here, install, and maybe you could also edit. So it's 4-in-1 app. So cool for your office suite. So let me close that one. No, I don't want to save. Let's go back to the App Center. So just look for your application. It will be awesome. Okay, so let me close that one. So conclusion, well, it's easy to install. Just follow the instruction. It will take only like 30 minutes or less than 30 minutes. It depends on your computer. But I noticed it was just only like 15 to 20 minutes I was installing it. And it feels like Mac. So it feels like Mac because it has the top bar right here. You have the options like desktop 1 and desktop 2, like just like in a Mac. Your time and date is in the center, and your notification is on the upper right side, and the dock is right here on the left side. But if you want it to in the bottom, you just change the settings. So for example, it is on the left, so we could like also put it on the bottom like that. And the position of the right icons, you could like also change it. And this one, like for example, if you want not to include the drives, you just click that one, like SDA, SDB, SDC, so it will be right here. But you could always go to the file right here. It will just gonna see through this display right here. It will be SDA, SDB. As you can see, we have this one as SDA. So it's basically like that. It's not like, you know, very hard to understand. So user experience, it's ordinary to like be confused at first. It is just ordinary. And of course, how to shut down, just click right here on the power button and then click the power button and then just click power off. If you want to restart, just restart. And you want to suspend, like sleep, suspend is the sleep, reboot or restart or log out right here, and shut down right here. So that's it for now for our operating system. We have the Edubuntu 25.04, not the LTS. Okay. And if you have some questions, feel free to ask me right in the comments down below. This is good for students and teachers and academic. Okay, so I hope you enjoy our video. Catch another episode of OS next time. Until then, see you in the next adventure. Now let's click shutdown. Shutdown, power off, shutdown.